So you might have seen it already. Webull is a new electronic trading platform which offers very low commission and low cost trading of stocks, ETFs, options, margins, and even cryptocurrencies. The company was established in the USA by a former employee of the Alibaba Group of China, and in 2018 they released a mobile version of the app. By August 2020, the platform had reached over 11 million registered users, and today it is available in the UK for the first time. So as part of their promotional offering, they are giving out millions of what it seems like free shares, and you might have seen some of your most trusted YouTubers putting a link in the description down below or even being sponsored by them. For example, currently if you sign up using the link in the description down below, you can gain up to 6 free shares. You'll get 2 fractional shares after signing up and depositing any amount, and another 2 if you trade within the first 30 days, and another 2 fractional free shares if you maintain your funds for 30 days. Also, as part of their promo, for the first 90 days there is no commission on any of the trades. So in this video I'm going to go through the Webull UK app as a first look and perform my first few trades. But remember, I am not a financial advisor, and investing always carries risks. You can lose some or all your capital, especially if you use some of the advanced options available on this app that I'm not going to be talking about. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the app. So when you first open the app, you are greeted by the feeds page, and this is quite reminiscent of any other investing app that you may have seen. There's always a news feed, and this allows community features. For example, if we do a quick scrolly, we can see that people are posting certain things. Essentially, a lot of it right now is marketing, but also individuals can post their performances and discuss topics on certain companies and where they think they are headed in the future. On this channel, I mostly talk about long-term investing, but this app is more geared towards trading, I think. So please bear that in mind as we go forward, and I'm going to give a few more warnings throughout, because honestly you really could lose a lot more money trading rather than investing for the long term, because in the short term there are more market swings, more market volatilities, and especially if you're using leverage, you can lose out on all that capital. But if we scroll a bit more, we can see that top companies are mentioned here. For example, Palantir, Apple, AMD, and another 2 that I don't really know what they are. You can see their movements in terms of their points and also the percentage number. For example, Apple has gone down 0.43%. One thing to mention is it doesn't really say time frames, so if we click into it, we can see that this tab is for the most mentioned. For example, Palantir, Apple, Tupperware brand. I also must caveat that you shouldn't base your investing decisions on what's popular or what's being mentioned a lot. For example, TUP, Tupperware brand, I've never heard of them, but I can guess that they are being traded a lot because either someone is trying to short them or there is speculation about this company. For example, if we go into it, we can see that since around 2011 the company is doing really bad. So my guesses are that this company is being shorted, and what can happen when you're trying to short is, yeah, you can make some potential money, but most people are going to lose out when the stock goes to zero. So really this is geared towards more of a trading app, and if you want to try out your luck on leverage and shorting stocks or buying when you think the company is going to be recovering anytime soon, then you can actually buy these companies. My encouragement is to always do your own research before buying into any company, whether that's Apple, AMD, or any of these companies that have a good balance sheet. Even then, you really should do your own research and understand your risks, because they will be different from the person next to you. So anyway, whilst we're on feeds, we can see that it is very similar to any other community feature available on many other apps such as Trading 212, and it really isn't that different. If I press plus here, I can create a post or create a poll, and I guess it is kind of like Twitter. You can say what you're thinking. Hello, I'm new. Post. So my post just went up on the popular. I'm not sure why it's there now. I think the app is very new, so they will start organizing it later on. But anyway, if someone wants to respond to that, I'm leaving that open, create an account, and I'll see if I get any notifications. So the next feature is watch lists, and essentially you can add your own companies here to watch and see their performance over your selected time frame. So let's go in and add a company. For example, I looked at 2 different things before. That's Apple and the SPY, which is the S&P 500 index. So if I wanted to, I can add Apple with the plus, and now it is in my watch list. So back in my watch list, you can see that there is Apple. You can also add other companies. Let's, for example, add Coca-Cola. So you just have to type in Coco, and it is the first one. So if we now press plus here, we can add it to our watch list. And if we go back, we can see Coca-Cola and Apple as our 2 companies on our watch list, and we can see the recent performance, and we can also sort by the prices. So the other menu of the Webull app is markets. So if I click into it, we can see that we have United States, we have global, and we also have indices. So these are ETFs, for example, the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and a couple of others. So if I click into the S&P 500, you will actually notice that currently you can't actually purchase or trade any ETFs, or at least I haven't found a way to do that. You can only really watch this ETF. You can see its maximum since around 1967 to today. You can see that it's gone up a whole bunch. So one thing I really like about this is that it lets you just zoom in and it gives you a very long history of the index. For example, a lot of newer trading apps only have data since around 2016. So this gives you a lot more historical data and it allows you to really go into your timeframes. Now, because this app has a lot of advanced features, it really isn't catered towards beginners. And as such, some of these features will seem very out of your remit as a beginner. For example, you can change the type of graph you have. You can go from line, area, baseline, candle, hollow candle. I'm not going to go through all of them, but essentially a candlestick graph shows you the movement in price for certain time periods. For example, this is a 1 minute candle. You can have a monthly candle and a yearly candle. Essentially what the candle does, it shows you the minimum and the maximum over that selected time frame, giving you more data about where the markets could be heading, although past indication is pretty much not an indication at all for future performance. And as such, reading lines on a graph is pretty similar to reading tarot cards in my opinion. You really can't see where the market is heading. However, if we look back, we can see how the market was performing as an indication. And then when we take the data from what was happening during those times, for example, the COVID-19 pandemic around 2020, we can actually correlate that to those events and give us more information about how certain events could potentially impact the performance of certain markets. But anyway, there isn't much at the moment in terms of global funds. For example, this is the entire globe and there isn't really much outside of North America. If we go into London, there is nothing. There are some in around China, for example, the SSE, SZSE, and there's another one around here. Now you may be wondering how you make a trade on this app, and actually it is quite confusing because it is this button here, and for me that looked like a voice command button, and in fact I think it does work like that. But anyway, if you press that, you just log into the app and you are greeted with this screen. Now, like I said before, this is not a beginner friendly app. There are just so many menus, nothing is very simple to use. This is a good thing for people who are advanced to apps and investing in general. As you can see, I have deposited £10, so you can see that I have £10 in cash, and this is in Great British pounds. This will need to be converted because most of these stocks are going to be American stocks. Almost every single stock will be American stocks. If you do want to trade UK stocks, I would just suggest using something like Trading 212, which is going to be far cheaper as there is no commission involved. This app does have a very small commission, although in the first 90 days there won't be commission, using the link in the description down below. Now, the money that you have will be under assets, and as you can see, I haven't placed any sort of orders so far, no sort of transfers, and there's no history. So like I said before, if you hold this actually acts as a voice command center, and as you can see, that has transcribed into the actual... Okay, that's not going to stop, is it? But as you can see, you can buy stocks of Apple just by pressing onto it and saying that. So actually, let's try that. I want to buy some shares of Apple. So number of shares was not identified. Please try again. So I'm not actually going to use this technique because I don't have enough to buy a single share of Apple. And one good thing about this app is that it allows for fractional trading. So you don't have to buy a whole share. You can actually buy parts of a share. This has been around for years in other apps, for example, Trading 212, but it is also good to see it being adopted in other apps. Now, I think the best way to actually invest into a company is just to go into the search bar and type the company in itself. Now, because we've been talking a lot about Apple, let's invest in Apple. Remember, if you want to trade, your capital is at risk, and always do your research before actually buying anything. When we click into Apple, we can see the current price, and this is currently priced in points. We can see the highs and lows here and the volume traded, as well as the market cap, which is currently $2.8 trillion. So if we switch back to line, we can see that over the past day, it has increased quite a bit. And using these advanced tools, you can actually buy and sell when you want to. The idea of trading is that you kind of want to buy at a good price and then sell when it's higher and make the profit between that. So if I wanted to say, for example, buy here, if the price drops here, I will be able to buy it. So it actually makes it very easy to use that on the graph and then just drag down, press buy. Now this will be more of a buy limit because I am limiting the order, I'm not buying it at the current market price. For example, if it reaches $176.70, then my purchase will be executed. Now, if you go under time in force, you can do it until the end of the day. So if the day finishes, your contract will actually expire. So you won't actually buy anything even in the next day if the market dropped a lot more. You can also do good till cancelled. So that will pretty much keep the limit buy open indefinitely, so that if the next week it gets to that price, you will be able to purchase it for that amount. Now, if I didn't want to wait and I wanted to buy some Apple stock right now, what I could do is just go straight into trade, and this will buy it at its market price. So currently, as we can see, this is the market price, and this will fluctuate rather quite a lot. However, I just want to buy it. I'm not really worried about where the market is heading right at this point. So all I do is press trade. Now you can see that I'll have to change my order type to market. Now, if you look under here, it says US fractional share trading enabled. So you can actually buy fractional shares. Now, remember, I only have £10. So I'm going to want a very small amount. Let's go for 0.01 shares. And as you can see, the estimated total will be around $1.78. Currently, there is no transaction fee because there is no commission for me for 90 days as I've signed up using someone else's link. And all I do now is press buy. So again, we get a confirmation screen saying that we want to buy 0.01 shares of Apple at the market price. And this is estimated at $1.78. Of course, if the price of Apple goes up to $200, then we will be paying $2.00, for example. Now, if I press confirm, our order has failed because apparently the minimum trade amount for US fractional shares is $5. So let's go back and now change it so that we can buy at least $5 worth of Apple shares. Now, I've changed the amount of fractional shares to 0.0281, and that gave me the closest I could get to $5. So we're going to do that. We're not going to be able to afford any more shares in this video. But anyway, if I press buy again, it will go to the confirmation screen, and then I just have to confirm. So it's giving me another screen saying when you place orders in fractional shares, the order quantity can have up to 2 digits after the decimal point. So I guess we'll have to go back and change that again. Let's just buy 0.03 fractional shares of Apple. Buy, confirm. Insufficient buying power. So I'm very confused at this point. Let's just increase the amount of shares, I guess. Insufficient buying power. So let's go into Coca-Cola, press trade, insufficient buying power. So I've just realized something. Maybe it's because I haven't transferred my pounds into dollars. So let's just do that. And in order to do that, let's go through how we would do that. So going back to the home screen, we can press that little Webull button. And then where we have our assets, go into transfer and then currency exchange. We can see that we'll have to exchange £10 for whatever the dollar amount is. It is worth noting that Webull have a 0.35% foreign exchange fee. There are apps in the UK that will charge less of this fee, so do bear that in mind, although 0.35% isn't the worst in the whole world. So let's just press exchange now, and it seems like it is completed. Okay, now let's go back and try to buy some Apple. So we'll go back into Apple, press trade, change it to market, and then try to buy 0.03 shares in Apple again for around $5.35. We're getting this screen again, and voila, something has changed and the order has been filled. So I guess it's not too beginner friendly. If you have money in pounds, you do have to change that into dollars before getting started. Well, at least now you know because you've watched this video. So if I go back into the Webull button, we can see on our assets, I have $12 and it's going to fluctuate now 8 cents. That is because I bought into Apple. Now we should have about $7-ish left. So let's go in and try to buy something else. Remember to never forget to do your own research, but for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to lose £10 if worse comes to worse, which I don't think it will anytime soon. So off the top of my head, let's actually go for Palantir, and we can see if we go into ticker symbol, we can find Palantir Technologies here. So let's go over the graph, and as we can see, there has been quite a bit of change in Palantir, and it's actually very volatile at this moment. It's gone up recently quite a bit, but anyway, let's just buy it for the sake of the video. All we have to do is press trade. It would be nice knowing how much in dollars I actually have when buying certain amounts of fractional shares. So we change it to market again, and then in amount, I'll put in 0.5. So 0.5 shares is around $8.95. So let's change that to 0.4, and that's around $7. And I think I have enough if my math serves me correctly. Press buy, press confirm. Insufficient buying power. Okay, let's go back and do 0.35. Press buy, press confirm, and voila. Very easy, the order is filled. It's very, very quick. So you can actually see that there is no transaction fee currently, and this is because there is a promo applied to my account for no commission in 90 days. So let's talk about the Webull financial fee structure. So currently they are touting it as zero commission on trades and no deposit minimums. However, there are some charges that you do need to be aware of. For example, after your 90 days of no commission, there are very, very small fees on buying stocks. For example, there is a minimum 1 cent in buying a stock, and the fee will be calculated as 0.000008 cents times your trade amount in dollars. So this is going to be a very small amount, but it would be an amount that you do have to consider. If you are trading options, there are fees that you can see on the website, but I'm not going to be talking about options in this video. So in addition to what the SEC charges, the FINRA will also have their own charges, and this is slightly a bit more than the SEC. So make sure to check out some of my other videos, and I will see you in the next video.